The answer to a question that a lot of us have had as we find ourselves answering emails at 10 p.m. Am I maybe too invested in my job? And how can I actually tell?
The top signs are just that you think about work constantly. If you're dreaming about work and waking up thinking about work, that might be a sign that you're sort of quote unquote too passionate. I do want to caveat, we do want you to love what you do and be passionate and excited about your work. It's just when it starts to take over everything else. So when you're dropping all of your personal responsibilities, or you're not seeing your friends, you're really crabby towards your partner, all of these other parts of life, when they start to drop away, that's actually when passion becomes dangerous and unhealthy.
That seems pretty clear, but how do you back up off of that a little bit?
Yeah, so it's hard. One thing is just to cut yourself some slack in your free time. And I think too many people on the weekends, they suddenly set goals for their personal lives and goals for their exercise. And there's really a lot of joy and sort of emotional restoration that comes from doing nothing or just doing something purely for enjoying it in the moment.
So, all human beings, everyone you've ever met, is a mixture of two kinds of motive. So, imagine if you play the piano in the morning because you love it and it gives you joy, and that's something you just want to do. That's what's called an intrinsic reason to play the piano, right? You're not doing it to get something out of it, you're doing it because that moment gives you a sense of satisfaction and meaning. Okay, that's called an intrinsic motive to do something. And so people will have different things. For me, it's writing. For some people, it might be running, whatever. Okay, now imagine you play the piano not because you love it, but because your parents are really pressuring you to be a piano maestro. That's their dream for you. Or in a dive bar that you can't stand to pay the rent, or to post the clips on Instagram so you look good. Those would be what's called an extrinsic reason to play the piano. You're not doing it because that experience gives you joy. You're doing it to get something out of it further down the line, right? Some external thing. Now, obviously, we're all a mixture of intrinsic and extrinsic motives. You have to be a human being. But Professor Kasser showed two really interesting things. The first is, as a society, we have become much more driven by extrinsic values, by showing off, by status, by how we look to other people in this shallow external way. He also showed the more your life is like that, the more likely you are to become depressed and anxious by a quite significant amount. And I think that, there's a big debate about why that is, but I think just like junk food appeals to the part of us that needs nutrition, but actually poisons us, these junk values, they appeal to the part of us that is looking for a sense of meaning and purpose in our lives. But actually they direct us towards things that do not make us happy.
The answer to a question that a lot of us have had as we find ourselves answering